Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me, except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
I'm gonna have to come with you. No. When do we start?
Welcome back to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast, the only podcast where the dog won't sit down.
I'm finding that
Stop spinning in a circle.
I'm finding that highly unlikely that it's the only podcast the dog won't sit down on. It's the only podcast on the network in which I don't know about the Buffy back issue bin if Kirby's an issue.
Sometimes you get belittled. Sometimes you get raised up on that show. It
Me?
depends on the episode.
Me?
Yeah,
Or Kirby?
you.
Oh, the only person that would be belittling me would be you, and the person raising me up would be Emily, so...
Sometimes I call you out. Sometimes I raise you up. You don't know. And I just usually go, he's not listening. It's fine.
What would you call me out for?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Wow. This is unbelievable. This is a turn of events. You're some sort of spy for the show. Like you're...
I also do these.
Whose side are you on?
They're literally months in advance recorded, so I don't even remember what I said.
So
half
it could
the
have been
time.
something I pissed you off about like months ago, and people are going to think that recently happened.
Could be.
That is,
Magic of the internet.
I want to say that I'm hurt.
It's fine. It doesn't really matter.
I'm over it now.
Yeah.
It was quick. How are things going? How was your weekend?
What was this weekend?
Um,
Oh. Now I remember the weekend.
that's never going to be like, oh, I remember it now and I regret everything I did.
Oh, I was at a funeral.
Oh, well, that's a real downer on the show.
Yeah, that's what you get for asking.
Well, I was...
Don't dig into my personal life.
I guess I don't want to know anything
Let's-
about you
let's never-
anymore. That's...
Let's never talk before or after.
Yeah, we'll just move on from this conversation as though it never happened. My weekend was good. My track teams both won sportsmanship banners.
Oh, actually, that's why you asked me the question in the first place.
Yeah, I wanted to pander to myself. Really,
okay.
I don't care about you. I care about me. Your wife hit a deer with a car and killed it tonight, and you lied to her about it.
I know.
You said, "Oh no, it's gonna be fine." He's telling his story of his brush with death. No, she hit it on the interstate. The thing limped off in the woods to die a lonely death.
Someone will eat it.
Yeah, well, the circle of life.
Maybe a hillbilly, maybe a coyote.
I'm gonna go with coyote.
But, I don't know. I guess let's move on to the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Do we have any happy news this week? Last week was kind of a dour week for news, if
No,
I
that was
recall.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, well, it's still felt...
Maybe if you sobered up within the last week, maybe you'd know.
Well, I mean, it's summertime. It's June. Why would you even think about being sober at this point?
Most weeks, I like to deal with facts.
Most weeks?
This week, I like to, dig in a little bit, make sure I'm reporting accurately. This week, it's like 90% hearsay, but damn it, we need content.
All right, so we're going to perpetuate the rumor mill.
Welcome to the rumors. Rumor has it.
Rumor has it.
Mm-hmm. A few potential actors in the new Dark Universe, or Universal Monster movie series. Supposedly, friend of the show Dwayne Johnson is going to be the Wolfman.
I love how you call him friend of the show.
He's our friend.
I like The Rock. I like I think The Rock would be good as the Wolfman. It'd be kind of a
I'll
different role
accept
for
it.
him. Yes, I would love for him to actually be a real friend of the show and just come hang out with us one night.
But I don't want him to be in actual prosthetics. He's already a massive dude.
Can we smell what he's cooking? Maybe if he came over and make this a nice dinner.
If he's the Wolfman, he's eating raw meat. He's not cooking anything.
And maybe he's eating the deer that your wife hit.
Could be.
Yes, he's getting into character acting.
And the other potential casting rumor was Angelina Jolie as the Bride of Frankenstein.
Ooh, I could buy that. She hasn't been in anything for a while. That's a name I haven't heard in some time. When's the last time Angelina Jolie was in anything?
I'm sure recently.
Okay.
Salt.
That was not recent.
Speaking of rumors and the Dark Universe, rumor has it that DC is
Rumor has it.
That's enough of that.
Okay.
Rumor has it that DC may be suing Universal for use of the name Dark Universe, because that's what they wanted to call their Justice League Dark movie.
Ooh, a fight. A legal fight.
Oh, we have a fight later. A fisticuffs.
Really?
Maybe I'll go to that next. Yeah, that's
Yes, I
don't
want
know if
action.
Screw it. Dark Universe is a dumb name for anything. Whether it's your Justice League Dark movie or your Universal Monster movie one, Dark Universe is a stupid name. I guess let's move on to the fisticuffs.
Yes, fight.
The Hulk fought Flash Gordon this week
Oh, really?
at a Comic-Con.
That's outstanding.
So Lou Ferrigno and Sam Jones got into a fight.
I'm thinking that Lou Ferrigno might have won.
They were separated by fans.
Wow. And I bet the fans were like, I got to touch Lou Ferrigno.
I guess it was like...
Were they in costume?
No. I mean, they're just there signing. They were at tables next to each other, and Sam Jones was getting annoyed at Lou Ferrigno for calling people over to his table and taking away from his sweet signature money.
Can't people go to both tables?
I mean, there are lines.
Yeah, well,
not always. I mean, the last time I saw Sam Jones, he was eating Chinese food by himself with no one around him.
So he's a sad, lonely Flash.
He's massive and jacked.
I want to know
Like,
if
he's tall.
they should have let him just hash it out.
I saw some video online, but it didn't show everything. And Ferrigno's also just massive.
Well, yes, he is. That's why he was able to play the Hulk.
But, I don't know. I met him once. Kind of a dick.
Lou Ferrigno?
I mean, one interaction in, like, his entire life. Maybe he's nice.
Did you, like, feel dwarfed standing next to him?
Not twice my height, but his arms are the size of my head.
That's a big arm.
Yeah.
Were you intimidated?
No.
Did you feel like if at any moment he could just break you in half if he chose to?
Yes.
Do you think he's on steroids?
Probably.
Good talk. It's a good... And that's your Zach's Encounter with a Random Celebrity segment of the show.
But yeah, then they blew it off. They're like, no, it wasn't a thing. There were some fans that were fighting, but no. There's video of the two of them.
Maybe they were trying to break up some fans fighting.
No.
Maybe they hired the fans to start the fight, and then they tried to break it up.
Now
and
you're
look
just
like heroes.
speculating about things. Speaking about speculating,
Well, you said
of
this
things,
was hearsay news.
That one wasn't. That one there's video evidence.
Rumor has it.
Josh Gad continues to hint that he may be playing the Penguin in an upcoming Batman movie. I could believe it. He looks penguinish.
Yes. Like Danny DeVito.
Yeah. He's taller than DeVito, but yeah.
Well, most everyone is taller than Danny DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
Your dog is taller than Danny DeVito.
Not true.
Your dog is taller than a small picture of Danny DeVito.
Yes, he's bigger than an 8x10.
Yes.
Have you been looking forward to another Sin City movie?
I didn't know I was supposed to be, but sure.
Well, stop looking forward to it, because it's going to be a TV show now.
Oh, now I'm disappointed.
Nah.
Not really. I wasn't even thinking about Sin City, so.
The last movie was no bueno.
That's Spanish for no good.
Thank you. Thank you for your translation.
Yes, if you like the show in Spanish, press the SAP button on the screen right now. Hola, ¿cómo estás, amigos?
Ay caramba.
Buenos noches.
Sin City is going to be coming to TV. I don't know if it's going to be an ongoing series or a mini-series. Don't do it as an ongoing. Sin City is a book, starts out amazing, stays amazing for a little bit, and then takes a sharp downhill turn. So, don't have it be an ongoing. You ever see those movies?
No.
First one's fun. Second one
The first one had Bruce Willis in it, right?
Second one had Bruce Willis in it.
Oh.
They both did.
Yes.
But the second one was an original story made just for the film, and it was meh.
Not good.
Yeah, the movie was real meh. More solid news. Director Patty Jenkins says that Wonder Woman 2 is going to be contemporary and take place in America.
Oh.
Which, for a character that literally wears our flag as her underpants, probably a good thing.
Quite.
Which, makes sense. Really, you could have that movie take place in any era. Like, do something like, I don't know, Vietnam.
Well, she's
Get her in
1,000
World
years
War.
old.
Yeah.
She's, she looks great for 1,000.
Almost as good as Robin Wright.
Oh. That was incredible.
Terrible commentary on everything. It's just noises. Oh!
Ooh. Wow.
Speaking of Wonder Woman, I would have thought this story was done.
Oh no. Is it the place in Texas?
Yes, the Alamo Drafthouse in Austin.
Yeah. Have you ever been there?
No, I've never been to Austin.
Do you want to go there someday? I'm not offering to take you, but it sounds like a cool place. The Alamo Drafthouse.
Well, there's a bunch of them around the country. They are actually now going to be doing multiple women-only screenings because of the internet backlash. I think they're more doing it because of the press coverage they got and they want to get money. But let's say it was because of the
Is that a movie theater where you
backlash.
can have beer?
I have no idea. I've never been to one.
It sounds like a Draft House. Makes me think there's beer.
Could be.
That'd be kind of cool. Movie and a beer.
You could do that at Topsom.
Can you really?
Yeah.
Oh. Why don't we go to the movies in Topsom?
15 minutes further away.
But there's beer.
Yeah.
I think that's a reasonable sacrifice.
Drink ahead of time.
I feel like you're encouraging drunk driving, Zach.
Yeah. No, don't do that. That is a selfish thing to do.
Yes.
But coming out of the Alamo Drafthouse, there is an attorney filing an official complaint from New York saying that he is a lawyer who specializes in discrimination law. And my general response is, fuck that guy.
I think he's in it for the money. I don't see this as being discriminatory in any way, shape, or form.
This is about celebrating something and also, more importantly, making money.
Because it's not like there's no availability for men to have a screening.
Just go any other time.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Somebody's just raising a stink.
It's like sometimes I've gone to restaurants I wanted to go to and they're like closed for private party.
Yeah.
I don't sue them saying this is discrimination.
I should be part of this party.
I can't go at this one exact moment in time. I guess I'll have to wait for tomorrow.
Oh, no.
Shut up, New York lawyer guy.
People need to grow up about this. This is dumb.
Yeah, this is going to get nowhere.
D-U-M dumb.
I told you that comment last week where they were like, you never do a men's only screen. They're like, well, we did show Entourage a few
that was
years
a good,
ago.
yeah, that was...
Yeah, he's like, I didn't like their attitude, so now I'm making it official. Shut up.
By the time that they've shown the movie, it's going to be over with. It's not going to be worth anybody's business. It's just deal with it.
No one's on your side.
No.
Let's do our sad news for the week.
Oh.
You probably saw this online. It was happened yesterday. Peter Sallis,
yes,
famed voice actor, has died at the age of 96.
Good long life.
Known best, at least most importantly for me, for being the voice of Wallace in Wallace and Gromit. I still find those shorts charming.
Yes.
3 out of 4 of them won Oscars. Maybe the 4th one did. I don't know.
Did you like Curse of the Were-Rabbit?
Not as much.
No, I think
Still
they were
good.
better as shorts. The longer movie was kind of like, they're better as quick hitters.
Yeah, half hour, get in, get out.
Yes.
My favorite memory, not even of those, when I was a kid, I was showing them and I wanted to see them again. So my old man went to the video store to go rent them for me. He's like, yeah, do you have the wrong trousers? This is like home vision
That's
video.
classic, yes.
And the guy like got real uppity with my dad. He's like, we don't have those kind of movies here, sir. I thought my dad was trying to find gay porn. He's like, no, it's not for me. It's for my son. It's for a little boy.
That's not even making it better at all. Not even close to making it better.
No, he's like, it's an animated film, idiot.
Oh, so it's like hentai.
Jesus. Last long bit of news. The law-abiding citizens over on 4chan have supposedly leaked some upcoming DC movie news.
Oh, really? Sounds like you were on 4chan yourself.
No, I read some articles about it.
Oh, have you ever been on 4chan?
No, I really don't know how it works. Isn't it kind of like a Reddit thing? Or is
It's
it
kind of like a
regular
Reddit thing. It's
forum?
like a message board.
I don't
yeah.
really understand Reddit either.
It's a message board,
As a
basically.
well, I don't know. It just seems different. I don't know. That's just me. I don't really
You don't do the internets.
know.
You don't do the medias, the social medias.
I do plenty of... I
You
pump
do-
out a lot of content per week.
That's true. You have a new article up on What Culture.
Yep. I'm going to try and do another one next week, too.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are these 4chan people saying?
Supposedly, according to these leaks, in 2018 for Batman's 80th anniversary, supposedly there's going to be 4 live-action Batman movies that year,
Wow.
which
The-
actually would line up.
The year of the Batfleck?
It doesn't... Well, supposedly it's going to start with Gotham City Sirens, which we know is in production with David Ayer as director, Nightwing, which I can't remember the director off the top of my head, then Batgirl with Joss Whedon, and finishing up the year with Batman. So it's not out of the question. I mean, these all sound reasonable.
Strong play by DC. You said 2018?
Yeah.
That's also the year The Avengers comes out.
Although we were told The Rock would not be appearing in Shazam, it would appear in a solo movie first. Supposedly, that is false, and both him and Superman will appear in the Shazam movie.
Ah.
They've been teasing on Instagram that they're going to be doing a thing together, so that also sounds plausible.
Friend of the show, Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, our best buddy. Let me text him now.
Man, if The Rock would just text me, I would probably have heart palpitations and faint.
That's just a condition.
Oh, yeah.
You can try and slide into the DMs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
That means that you DM somebody, direct message.
It happens so rarely in my Instagram.
People that direct message you.
Well, they're always people I know, so it's
Oh.
not like it's a secret.
No, because I would want him to even just call him and be like, "Hi, this is The Rock." I'd be like, "Oh, really? This is awesome. It doesn't matter if you think this is awesome." And then he hangs up on me. That would be the highlight of my week, maybe month, perhaps calendar
I
year.
was gonna say life, to say the least.
They would be in the top 5 for certain. I'd love to get belittled by The Rock. Wouldn't you like to have The Rock insult you?
I feel like he's too nice for that.
Well, he does it. I mean, when he's the wrestler.
So that wouldn't be legitimate. No, I want to connect.
Well, no, I'm sure he's a guy that you would connect with a lot of people. He seems very charismatic and personable.
More rumors from 4chan. Supposedly, the Green Lantern Corp movie won't be happening for a while due to its massive visual effects budget.
I can see that needing a lot of visual effects.
Yeah, so I just think it's a case of they don't have a set release date, but that was kind of the gist of that one.
Or someone to play Amon Sur.
I'm sure they could cast a role.
Yes.
Suicide Squad 2. Potential villains are Bane, Maxwell Lord, who appeared recently on Supergirl and just made his first comic book appearance in like 10 years in the Justice League versus Suicide Squad crossover, or potentially Scarecrow.
Of those villains, which would you want to see?
Going up against the Suicide Squad? Well, last time we saw ridiculous CG. I don't know. If Scarecrow, I guess.
Yeah, I would say Scarecrow.
Because Maxwell Lord is just a guy. Bane would just be another like CG punch-a-fest. But Scarecrow, they could potentially like show the character's fears and actually maybe show these characters actually being villains versus being kind of okay guys. Is that a scab or a tick?
That's a tick.
Want to go burn them or bag them?
I'm gonna go set fire to this thing.
Kirby, we have to go burn a thing.
Welcome back from the part of the show that we call
Tick murder.
Tick. The Tick. Maybe he could fight the Tick, the Suicide Squad versus the Tick.
He cried out, yelled spoon as we burned him alive.
Oh, he's dead. DED dead.
Supposedly, in the race of who's going to direct The Flash, Matthew Vaughn is going to be the director, but we'll see. The other option was Robert Zemeckis.
I like Zemeckis.
Matthew Vaughn's good too.
Mm.
I like everything he's done. Supposedly, Jared Leto's Joker will appear in Batgirl, not as a large role, but he will be in it.
Oh, no.
Again, dealing with the idea of rumors. And the last supposed rumor from these supposed leaks, that Justice League 2 will be dealing directly with the New Gods, and it'll be an adaptation of the recent story Justice League War.
Everything has to be a war these days.
What Justice League War has, if they're dealing with the New Gods, they have my personal favorite. Actually, I think of all the Jack Kirby creations, my favorite is the most ridiculous. Death the Black Racer. It's literally Death, but he's on skis.
Curious. What does he do when it's not wintertime? Does he have to hang out with the Iceman like we talked about previous?
No, he just skis around the skies.
Oh, are you looking him up now?
Yep.
Death the Black Racer? Oh yeah, he's on some skis.
He just flies around the skies on skis.
Those must be some really powerful skis.
Amazing.
He's wearing like a knight's helmet.
I know. I would be fine with Death the Black Racer being in a movie.
Does he impale you with his ski poles?
We'll read a story about him later this year.
Oh, excellent. During ski season?
Before Justice League comes out.
Ah, that's not that far off.
But that will do it for the news.
That's a heavy news week. Oh, and I like your notes. Attorney filing a complaint, New York. Fuck that guy. Wow. That's pretty straightforward notes right there. Straightforward. 4chan leaks. Fuck them as well. Oh, wow. Were you angry today when you wrote your notes for the show?
I did this yesterday. Apparently I was in a mood.
I suppose so. I was like,
these are hard-hitting notes.
Oh, they are. I do appreciate the way that you wrote it. It was very well written. F them as well. Not f them too. You took the time to construct a nice sentence. You weren't casual about it. You were straight up gangster.
Some days I consider it like, do I just want to take the bleeps out and have this like just be listed as an explicit show? But no, I'm not ready to take that leap. But that'll do it for the news. We are now going to get into our first non-spoilers and then spoilers review of Wonder Lady.
That's Wonder Woman.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
Before we get into Wonder Woman, do you want to cover a little bit of history of her?
Yes, please. Tell me more about Diana Prince.
The character is celebrating her 76th year of publication.
Oh, good for her. She's hanging in there.
Been around for quite a while. There was one TV series with Linda Carter, lasted 3 seasons and 2 networks. There was one TV movie and one failed pilot not that long ago with, what's his name? The guy that made Ally McBeal.
I can't remember.
That guy.
Creator, David E. Kelly.
Yep, there we go.
Who's dressed up as Wonder Woman, though? Who's
Adrian Pilecki.
Oh, wow. Yes, so it is.
Wonder Woman was created by writer William Moulton Marston 76 years ago, and he is best known, aside from creating Wonder Woman, as being one of the creators of the Polygraph, which ties into her Lasso of Truth.
Ah.
But more of what has come out in recent years, and now what he's becoming better known for, is being a super bohemian before bohemian was a thing. He had a wife, He also got super fat.
I feel like we've talked about this before.
Well, I'm bringing it up now because we're talking about Wonder Woman.
Yes, but he had like multiple wives, didn't he?
Well,
Or he had a wife, but multiple partners.
Yep, he had a wife, and he had 2 children with his wife, and they had a live-in mistress, and he had 2 children with the mistress, and the children of the mistress were told that their father died in the war.
Didn't he die recently? Didn't he?
No, he died a while ago from being super fat.
Why do I feel like we've talked about him before?
We might have. The wife and the mistress are still alive, and they still live together.
That is odd, but seems to be par for the course.
There's a really good book. I think the title was like A Secret History of Wonder Woman, something like that. It's a really good book. I read it. It's great. One of the weirder anecdotes was like the kids walked in on him having sex with the mistress, and they were like, "Oh no, he's just sick, and I'm helping him." The bracelets that Wonder Woman wears come from the mistress. That was something that she always wore.
Impermeable bracelets?
They were big into women's rights at the time. There was a lot of contraception at the time was frowned upon, and they were very big pioneers in the idea of women being allowed to have contraceptives.
Fair enough. Bracelets aren't contraception, though.
No. But the other big thing that he was in, part of the reason Wonder Woman was created, DC came to him and they said, hey, we need to have another character, kind of like that Superman and Batman. He decided to do a woman character because he's like, I want to have strong female characters. But he was also super into bondage and thought that women should submit and be completely submissive to a dominant male. So Wonder Woman's weakness is being bound by a man because he wanted to instill in women the idea of binding as a positive thing.
Strange, to say the least.
Isn't that kind of an oxymoron?
That's very bizarre, yes.
Like, I believe in strong females, but also you should like to be tied down.
Yes,
Isn't that kind of a contradiction?
That's not kind of a contradiction. It's very much a contradiction.
can't.
That is like, yes, we should have strong females, but only if I can control them.
Yeah, I can't quite wrap my head around that one.
No.
It's you know what? Screw it. I'm going to look up the book because it's a great book. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, about the guy?
About Wonder Woman more than anything. But
okay.
also seriously dealt with her. Yeah, The Secret History of Wonder Woman. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. It's a national bestseller.
Oh.
That's where I learned most of my Wonder Woman trivia.
Either we talked about him during Batman v Superman or in
maybe a trailer.
No, or what was the book that we read like over a year ago? New Horizons?
New Frontier?
New Frontier, yeah.
Could have been.
Because she was in that. She was having a big old drink party.
Yep. But that's a little bit of your Wonder Woman old-timey background.
Yes, from Themyscira.
That's just weird, right? Well, Themyscira didn't come around until the 80s with George Perez. He's still alive. Wears a lot of Hawaiian shirts, but he's really big for kind of redefining Wonder Woman post-Crisis and also his work on Teen Titans.
I'd wear a lot of Hawaiian shirts if I could. I mean, I suppose I could. Nobody's stopping me, really.
It's like a signature. All he wears is Hawaiian shirts.
What's wrong with Hawaiian shirts?
Nothing. It's his thing. It's what he does.
You should have Hawaiian Shirt Friday at the shop. You don't own any Hawaiian shirts, though, do you?
I have a colorful shirt or two.
Yeah, but they're not Hawaiian shirts.
Nah. Let's get into the movie.
You
know what my big complaint is?
It felt a lot like Captain America.
I wasn't represented on screen. There was a woman up there and not a white guy. I've grown accustomed to white men front and center.
Why don't you shut your damn mouth?
I don't actually care.
I know that you don't. No, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. I thought there was, I think, like I said afterwards, if there was only one knock I would really put on it, it did kind of have moments where it felt a lot like, Captain America, the First Avenger. But that may have been just because of like the setting of World War, but it's World War One.
I want to get into that, but I don't want to talk about it until spoilers.
Yeah. I thought some of the visuals were great. I loved some of the cinematography. I loved Gal Gadot. She was amazing. I thought she was really, really good in this role. Director
Patty Jenkins, she hasn't done anything in a long, long while. I think her last thing was Monster, and she got Charlize Theron an Oscar for that. The movie, this is a fun movie.
Yes, agreed.
I couldn't quite tell what age it was going for. Like, they seem to be almost doing an all ages thing. Like, there are these massive battles, and like people are getting shot and stabbed, and there is not a drop of blood to be found. But then you'll go into another scene, and they're making big dick jokes.
Yes.
So, like, who... I mean, I guess I'm the audience because I enjoyed it, but I couldn't quite tell what their target age was.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I mean, but I don't think really DC's been able to figure that equation out yet with their movies.
When the movie first opened, I got almost immediately a little concerned because we have a flashback within a flashback. We see Wonder Woman as a little girl.
Mm.
and she jumps off a ledge, and that couldn't have been any more green screen. It was like, oh, that looks awful. It's like their first effect of the movie.
Yeah. Ooh.
But thankfully, their worst effect was their first effect. So it got significantly better after that, but that was like, oh no, what are we in for?
I do think it was interesting that it opened up, the way the movie opened up, and the way it kind of framed itself. I'd like that. Kind of like it's her in the beginning, modernish.
I'm always a stickler for chronology and viewing order. I'm like, where was this movie going to be placed? And it would be placed in the order that it came out, just the way that they frame it.
Mm.
I mean, the early Marvel movies are all out of order for how they came out, but this so far with DC has been the way they come out is the way you should watch them.
And I was thinking too, like, in some ways, I think that DC is starting to mirror Marvel a little bit. Like, right now, I know, like,
They had fun.
well,
It wasn't awful.
no, like character archetypes. Like, think about Tony Stark. He really kind of helps assemble the Avengers as like the leader of the Avengers, kind of. But he doesn't really have a superpower. He's rich. Batman is kind of like being the leader of
make those.
the Justice League, and he's kind of like assembling the Justice League.
And Wonder Woman's like Black Widow because they're ladies.
No,
No. I thought the color palette of this movie was really interesting. We start the movie off in Themyscira or Paradise Island, call it what you will.
mm.
And it's very bright, very vibrant. But then the second we leave, it becomes very flat.
Yes, dark, dour.
As
Well,
like
the world is at war.
every war movie has a kind of a. You don't go into a lot of colorful war movies.
No,
The Amazons on Themyscira, I thought it was kind of funny, which they all look great, and I buy the physicality of every single one of them. A lot of them are professional athletes. Also, Robin Wright's there, and she's awesome.
yes, she is fantastic.
Someone kept on saying, as you wish, and she stabbed them in the face.
That was excellent.
I wish that happened. That'd be amazing.
Mm.
But
Oh
Gal,
no, my sweet Leslie, what have I done?
Gal Gadot, or Gal Gadot, I'm pronouncing
Gal
it wrong.
Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Yes.
I still can't tell if she's a good actress or not. I can tell they had no faith in her with her ability to do other accents because everyone on that island has an Israeli accent. They're like, we're matching her. Not going to have it be the other way around.
Go with her. I think that she did a fantastic job in the role. She really...
I buy her physicality. I mean, when she was cast, there was a lot of like, she needs to eat a sandwich. She worked out. She looks great.
Yeah, she was also pregnant for reshoots.
Was she? I didn't know.
Yes, they
Huh.
put green cloth over her to help edit out her pregnancy.
Somehow I doubt she was in bad shape.
No, I doubt she was in bad shape at all.
The action in this movie is great.
Oh, it's really, really good. And it's like, it's right in your face.
There's a scene we'll get into that's kind of the end, the Act 2 break is the peak of the movie for me.
Mm.
This is amazing. I got glassy-eyed watching it. I'm like, this is what this should be.
Yes.
But there's a ton of slow motion in there, which can be overused or illy used. And I loved it all. I love seeing her spin around. I love, like, because she doesn't have a cape, but she has the hair, and you just get all these
Oh, yeah.
extra additions. And then also she's moving so fast that she's deflecting bullets. Slow motion helps.
Bullets move very quickly.
Tend to, yes.
Yes, I'm just pointing out. Yes.
And I really like Chris Pine in this movie.
Oh,
Steve
yes.
Trevor.
I thought
He's an actor I
hit it
like
well.
more and more.
He's
I've seen-
really growing.
I've seen him, like, earlier stuff with him. He's not bad, but he's just kind of fine. But he's really getting the idea of nuance down.
Mm.
And he's growing as an actor, and I like seeing him more basically with everything he does.
Did you ever see him in Unstoppable?
I did, yeah.
I liked him in that.
I don't really remember it that well, other than he was there,
Yes, with Denzel Washington.
who's always great.
Yes.
But I liked him. I like how it also wasn't just, like, the complete role reversal. Like, he wasn't the quote-unquote damsel in distress.
No,
He had his own moments, and he moved the story forward, and they also got to play off each other very well. They both got to have their own fish out of water story.
Yes, but he also was a great bridge to help, like, bring Diana into the real world.
And I like how there were certain scenes where they would argue, and there are certain things he was right about, and certain times she was right about a thing.
Yes, they played off each other well.
Yeah.
And the on-screen chemistry for them and their characters' chemistry was believable.
And then we have an assortment of villains. We have essentially 3. I will say the villains are probably the weakest part of this. I'm not going to... The one I feel comfortable talking about in non-spoilers is Dr. Poison, who you saw in the trailers.
Yes.
I didn't really dig her face. I thought it was really distracting. Like, it looks like a marionette face. But you could say that she was a puppet of someone, and maybe that's intentional. But I never looked at her acting. I just kept on looking at her weird lip flaps.
Yeah, I was waiting for something big to come out of her, and it really didn't. I would agree. The villains were kind of the weak point of the movie, but I also don't think that the movie was really supposed to be based around that traditional, like, good versus evil fight. It was a character establishing movie. I mean... Was Obadiah Stane, whatever, was Obadiah Stane really a great villain in Iron Man?
You talking bad about Jeff Bridges?
No, I'm not talking bad about Jeff Bridges.
Because I saw him
The Dude Abides.
R.I.P. and it's awful. Wait, no, I'm supposed to defend him.
I mean, do you really think that Obadiah Stane was a great villain in Iron Man?
No, but I always like Jeff Bridges.
Yes, agreed. I'm just saying that you don't have to have a great villain.
You should ask me if I think Mickey Rourke was a good villain, and I will tell you no.
No. You don't necessarily need a great villain in a character introduction or character building movie. This is to build forward. It helps give us insight into Wonder Woman, and it helps. I mean, we have a good climactic fight. The fight at the end was really good.
I didn't like it at all. Well, I liked about 10 seconds of it, which I'll talk about.
I thought it was a really cool fight.
But then those 10 seconds are immediately undercut by something stupid.
Oh, well, you always find the stupid things.
I didn't make them. If I have really any complaints about the movie, the third act for me falls apart a little bit. It just becomes kind of a CG fight fest, which does nothing for me. The supporting cast, with the exception of Chris Pine, you don't really get to know, and they're pretty forgettable. Like
his secretary.
Etta Candy, which she's an old one from the 40s. She was just Wonder Woman's fat friend. That's literally her role, was the fat friend.
Well, everyone has one.
I mean, they've updated the character a lot more recently, but in the 40s, it was just like, she has a fat friend. End of role.
Reasonable. Thank you.
I almost wish I could see this movie through another lens, because this was a really good movie. Like, and that's not putting it on a sliding scale. It's not like, compared to the other DC movies or anything, just standalone by itself. This is a strong movie. It's a fun movie. It's a movie that they really try and push forward. Mostly, and I've seen the director come out, it's a movie about love, and that's not just like romantic love, but just in general.
The power of love.
That's power of love.
Yes. Huey Lewis in the News.
No, we're talking Wonder Woman, not Huey.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
But I almost wish I could have some of the I've seen so much online of like, I've waited for a female-led thing and blah, 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 and I don't have that perspective, because I've always had, not that I see myself in like, I don't see like a Thor movie and be like, I see myself in that man. We're the same, you and I.
You are not an Asgardian god by any stretch of the imagination. Sure, you swung a hammer once or twice, and you had long hair once.
I can lift a heavy thing.
Good for you. Can you lift a hammer made from inside the heart of a dying star?
No.
Well, then see, you have nothing.
Fair. So I mean, but there's been a million white guys on screen. I've never felt like a lack of misrepresentation.
No, I don't think we're not misrepresented at all, or underrepresented.
Like, oh no, I'm late 20s. I've never seen a guy in his late 20s on screen.
Ever.
Side note, I have.
Yes.
In basically every movie.
And porn.
Also a movie.
Yes. A cinematic adventure, if you would.
I mean, I had a ton of fun with this movie.
Yes, as we left, you're like, that movie was metal.
It was metal.
I love the soundtrack. I love her theme, the Wonder Woman theme.
They did that in Batman v Superman. When it kicked in, it's really good.
Yes.
She ends the movie killing so many people. A lot of people die in this movie.
Yes.
I wouldn't bring a child to this.
No.
Like, be at least 10 years old.
At least 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 to 12. I would buy that. Yeah. Well, it's PG-13, so.
Yeah, so there you go.
If I were to really have only one knock, there were a lot of times it did feel like Captain America: The First Avenger, though.
There are weird I would have, there's especially a thing in the third act where I'm like, you could have done literally anything else to differentiate yourself, but you chose to do the same thing. It had the
same, and I'll get more into how and why I feel that way in the spoilers, but it kind of had the same basic trope as that, and it was just like, I felt like I had been there before.
I feel like mentioning this before we get into spoilers. There was one moment of the movie where I was the only person laughing, and it wasn't meant to be a funny moment. It was very unintentional.
I'm trying to remember what moment that was.
Danny Huston, who you may recognize from X-Men Origins Wolverine, where he's equally terrible. Except actually probably not quite as bad because in this movie he's doing a German accent. He can't do a German accent.
Oh yes, he was whatever his name was.
He's a real, the general he's based on is a
Real guy, yeah.
But there's a point where it's kind of quiet, it's building a little bit, and then out of nowhere he just goes like, "Whoa!" And I just started laughing. I'm like, too big. Aside from that, on our patented rating system of see it in theaters, red box it, or don't waste your time, see it in theaters.
Absolutely. It's the best offering from the DCU right now, and absolutely see it in theaters.
I don't even want to qualify. It's just a good movie.
Yeah, it's fun.
But going from there, let's get into spoilers.
Ooh, please spoil it for me.
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
Wonder Woman's origin. I was a big fan of this.
How she was made from clay?
I like how they did both origins. Well, there's a third one being worked in with current Rebirth stuff. But the two kind of biggies that are out right now, they brought up the made of clay thing, which I loved.
Mm-hmm.
What a stupid origin, and that's why I love it.
Yes.
But it turns out that she's really the daughter of Zeus.
I like it.
I mean, I'm sure if you're listening to spoilers, you've probably seen the movie, but the whole thing, I immediately picked up on that. I thought they telegraphed that way too much.
That she was Zeus's daughter?
That she was the god killer.
Yes.
Because she goes into her room, she's like, how do we stop Ares, the real villain of the piece? I didn't say that Israeli enough.
No, I don't think you really have a good Israeli accent.
Oi!
That's not even close.
Okay.
That's more like Scottish.
Oui, oui.
That's French.
Okay. But just when they were looking at the sword, and she's like, is that the god killer? And the only reason that it really stood out to me is in comics, it's the god killer sword. Like, say the last word. I noticed we're not saying the last word. Okay, so it's not the sword.
No, it wasn't.
But I'm like, the god killer what? The god killer lady. Okay, gotcha. Figured it out.
The god killer child.
Thank you. Which really would have been helpful information. Because Wonder Woman leaves Themyscira. She's like, I'm going to go kill Ares. And her mother's like, I can't tell her origin. Tell her origin.
Yeah, you might. Well,
this is plot relevant.
Yeah, it's also like, are you trying to get your daughter killed?
Like, tell her that's what she's there for.
By the way, that the whole like when she leaves Themyscira, is that not like that's like a super mom guilt trip move? You're my greatest love, and now you're my greatest disappointment.
Yeah, I gotta do.
Yeah, well, leave Themyscira apparently,
and never find it again.
Yeah, I feel like she could find it if she wanted to.
That made me curious because I mean, I'm sure that Chris Pine could have gotten the coordinates. I wonder if Themyscira moves around aside from just being cloaked.
It must.
That would be the only reason I feel like, hey, mark where this place was so I can find it again.
How has nobody else stumbled across it?
That'd be my assumption, is that it just moves around. They have that force field around it or not force field, but at least like visual cloaking.
Yes, which also keeps the foggy, crappy weather out.
Yeah, so I mean, my assumption is that it moves, but I could be wrong.
Could be over Atlantis. Could be hanging out with Aquaman.
Could be. I mean, we know from Justice League trailers that we're going to see the Amazonians fight parademons, which I assume is going to be in flashback. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. Like, you've seen the footage!
Yeah, I just don't know what parademons are. Are those the things with the wings?
Yes.
Okay, got it. That was easy.
Amazonians were the ladies.
I know who the Amazonians were.
Oh, but you didn't know parademon.
Do we get more Robin Wright?
I don't know.
Let's hope so.
I like her.
Yes. Although her character died. She wasn't the queen.
Yeah.
Robin Wright's character is dead.
If it's a flashback, she could be in it.
It's possible. Anyway.
But yeah, I thought they kind of telegraphed a little bit that she was going to be the god killer.
Yes.
Can she fly?
She was totally flying.
I still don't feel comfortable saying that she can fly.
Well, they didn't bring in the invisible jet. So.
Can she leap really well, or can she fly?
Well, technically, Superman can't fly. He just jumps really high.
No, he flies.
No, he totally jumps.
No, that's how his original origin was, but that changed.
Oh, okay. Well, so why can't
I would say by the year 1940, if memory serves.
Oh. Well, I mean,
wrong on that year.
It'd be really weird if she had the invisible jet on Themyscira.
That Amazonian jet technology.
Yes.
But they already have that Amazonian, like, invisible force field technology, so she could always take that technology and just put it in a plane.
But, again, what good is it to have an invisible jet if you can be seen flying it?
I don't know. I feel like, well, I'm sure you couldn't see her. I wonder if that's what they were setting up with, like, the invisible island. They might be setting up the invisible jet.
That's
convenient. Potential.
That would be convenient. Or maybe it's going to be one of Bruce...
She is aware of that technology.
So she's gonna have Bruce Wayne's jet and make it invisible. Is pretty much what's
Could
gonna
be.
happen.
Could be. I'm throwing it out there. The invisible technology exists. We know that.
James Bond had it.
He also dressed up as a crocodile one time.
Well, listen, you do what you got to do.
And
to fight
Asian.
evil. He also has, skied down several mountains being chased by bad guys. Good rule of thumb: don't go skiing with James Bond.
Also, don't ask if Christmas only comes once a year.
That was
a bad line.
That was a very bad
I
line.
just have to bring that up.
Yes.
Also, don't say you'd rather cut your own wrist than do another one. Bad press.
No, that's was that Pierce Brosnan?
No, that was Daniel Craig.
Oh, Daniel Craig.
He said doing it with like broken glass or rusty metal. I don't remember now.
It sounds painful regardless.
Do you think Chris Pine is really dead? So he dies in basically the exact same way as Captain America. Another Steve. He dies the same way as Steve. In a plane, sacrificing himself so bombs won't go off.
Oh, he has to be dead.
So I'm kind of conflicted on it because he does have a multi-picture contract. But I think that DC is trying to learn from Marvel's mistakes. Like, let's look at Fox Marvel. Hugh Jackman has never had a multi-picture deal. He has literally signed up one movie at a time, which is also, well, with the exception of Logan, where he took a pay cut to make the movie. He made progressively more money. Robert Downey Jr. basically has 20% of the Avengers budget. Originally, he wasn't on a multi-picture deal. Terrence Howard made more money than he did in the first Iron Man. But every time they have to sign him again, he makes progressively more money.
Well, also, Robert Downey also had to have insurance taken out against him in those early movies. Because he was like fresh out of rehab.
Not fresh, but yeah.
Mostly, yeah, like Mel Gibson put up the insurance on him.
But then, I mean, Marvel now, they sign everyone for multi-picture deals. Like, the little kid from Iron Man 3 has a 6-movie contract.
Wow.
That's not an exaggeration.
They may never use him.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like with the idea of the franchise world now that everyone, no matter what, just in case, has a multi-picture contract, so Steve Trevor having one might mean literally nothing.
Or he's flashback material.
Or the Flash could pluck him out of... Because you don't actually see him die, you just see the plane explode. Flash could pluck him out.
So you're saying that...
Maybe he parachuted... We don't know.
Okay, so if he parachuted, he totally would have found his people, and he would have found Diana. Just saying.
I know. I'm not saying it's likely.
I'm thinking that if there's anything that's going to happen, it is the Flash.
Time travel. He already showed that in Batman v Superman.
But again, Diana's really robbing the cradle here. She's like 1,000. He's like 29, 35, something like that.
Almost all of my notes here are talking about the third act.
Yeah.
So, Danny Houston, who I laughed at for overacting, I figured out that twist real early.
Oh yeah, that he was an Ares.
One of the things I don't like about this movie is Dr. Poison hands him these pills. She's like, inhale this and it will return you to your former glory. We never find out what she's talking about. Totally unanswered. They're just like, return you to your power. He's like, I missed that power.
This is very good stuff.
Reminds me of the old days when I had that power. What power is that? We don't know. But then when he dies and Wonder Woman just beats the hell out of him.
Yeah, and like stabs him through the chest and his sword is hanging through the ceiling and there's no blood on it.
Zero blood. I also feel like there was a couple of times where I felt like there were missing scenes. That was one of them. Like she stabs him, leaves the sword up there. Then we see the real Ares confront her. She goes to grab for her sword and it's gone. And the next time we cut back to her, she's just jumping down with her sword. I'm like, okay, cool, missing scene.
Yeah, like Ares just lets her go get the sword.
Yeah, we just don't see what happens there. There's a few instances where you can feel that there was another scene in there.
Yeah.
And the third act as a whole, I don't like. So we get Ares, who's played by the werewolf from Harry Potter.
Oh,
Ludwig...
David something.
What's the character name?
Oh, and Harry Potter?
Lupin.
Yes,
I got
Professor
there.
Lupin.
Ludwig. That was real off.
Yes, you were not close at all. David Thewlis as Sir Patrick.
Caught on pretty quick that he was going to be Ares.
Yes.
And one of my issues with him is he has the silly mustache. He reminded me a lot of the actor who got arrested for child porn who was in Howard the Duck. And when he just starts like floating around and blowing things up, like, you're going to blow up some condiments too? Because we're getting to the real Howard the Duck territory here.
Everything was blowing up.
But I mean, that kind of undercut it for me. I'm like, you remind me of the Howard the Duck guy.
No, I like that last fight.
Well, then even when he put on the armor, you could still, like, I would have preferred a full CG character versus still seeing that guy's face because he's so wimpy.
Well, I think that's part of, like, what makes this like trying to develop the evil in his character. He just looks like an every guy.
I do think it was a reference. He binds Wonder Woman at the end and she's powerless when he wraps her up.
In the metal.
Like, binding.
Little Wonder Woman burrito.
Women like submission. That's what Wonder Woman teaches us.
She was in a little burrito.
She wasn't a metal burrito.
Yeah, she was getting the life squeezed out of her.
But he gets like super Empire Strikes Back. He's like, join me and together we can rule the world. And I wanted to yell out, as father and son.
I'm glad you didn't. Because you would have broken one of your movie rules.
I know, so I didn't do it.
I'm glad you didn't.
But it gets real Empire Strikes Back in there for a minute.
Yes. But it's the temptation. She has to be tempted. She thought about it for a minute because, well, she's so innocent.
You know what kind of bugged me in the third act, which was probably my favorite moment, and then they totally undercut it. I love it. She gets big explosion, and she loses her hearing for a second, and Steve Trevor runs up and he says a bunch of stuff to her.
And we don't know what it is, yeah.
I'm like, that is a bold move. And then it's totally undercut by we just revisit the scene like 3 minutes later. We get to hear everything. I'm like, oh. I liked it better the other way. Because we get to see the action and we understand the intent. And I'm like, this is retweets.
Oh.
It was such a strong scene without hearing what he said. But I mean, that
it was a powerful scene.
Yeah, that just might be me, but I thought it was totally undercut by revisiting it with the full audio.
I thought it was really good acting by Chris Pine right before he blows the plane up. It's like you're in that situation, like you know that you need to do this, but it's going to result in your death, and he's just like, you know, that moment of acceptance.
Yeah, he gets
like,
his hero moment. What does it say? Like, you can save the world, but I can save the day.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yes.
And then he dies, and Wonder Woman freaks the hell out. And this is a movie trope that I hate. Visually, this looks really cool. She runs through and kills like 100 guys, just punches 100 guys to death. Looks really cool. Great effect. But then she's confronted with Dr. Poison, someone who we're at least aware of in the movie, and she's like, no, I can't kill this mass murderer. I can only kill 100 nameless people.
Yeah, I want to kill a bunch of like mindless henchmen, but this woman who created this evil poison which caused my would-be boyfriend to have to kill himself to save the world.
I hate that trope in stories. Like, no, we're minorly aware of this one individual. We can't kill them, but you can kill everyone else that's nameless.
Yes.
I hate that trope in movies, in any kind of story, really.
Because that makes the good person, like, a heel.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's such a dumb trope.
Well, I mean, think about how many stormtroopers Luke and Han kill. Tons.
No. Yeah, I know.
Tons and tons.
They're murderers.
Yeah, they are straight up violent criminals.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to, like, a character with a real name, nope.
Can't kill them. Nope. But before I forget, the reason that I like the idea of World War I in this movie, Wonder Woman traditionally is more of a World War II character, but I like the idea of World War I. It's described as the war to end all wars. And having Ares be a part of that, where he's literally trying to end humanity, makes sense with a war that has that nickname. Glad you're nodding. Good commentary.
Yes. Well, that's what it was called. It was called the war to end all wars.
I know, but I like that. That's why I kind of like that as the setting for this. Something that I'm curious about, something that goes more with the New 52 origin of Wonder Woman, which has her be the daughter of Zeus. She does kill Ares, and then she becomes the god of war.
Goddess.
That's not something they really address. She may or may not be the new god of war. She also may or may not
have killed him.
Well, she did, but...
I mean, there's a giant crater where he was.
She also can fly, cannot fly? I'm still not sure. I'm going to say by the end of Justice League, she'll be able to fly.
Yes.
But it's kind of unclear.
Well, I mean, how did she get to the island in Batman v Superman?
She could jump. She's a good jumper. I like it when she jumps into that church and blows it up. Oh, we didn't even talk about that. We didn't talk about the No Man's Land thing.
That was cool. The No Man's Land
scene? That was my favorite scene in the movie. That's where I got glassy-eyed. That is what these movies should be. Especially, she's more Superman than Superman is in this world. The idea of taking an ideal and a symbol and others drawing strength from her, and they're shooting at her. They're like, she's taking the fire, and that makes everyone else gather the strength they need to run out. That is the best scene in the movie. I love it. I love the No Man's Land scene. And then she busts up that church.
You know what I really, really liked about this movie? In Batman v Superman, she was kind of jaded.
She was definitely jaded. She's like, yeah, I've killed things before.
Yeah, well, she was like jaded and she really was like, she didn't care. And she was going to like get the hell out of Metropolis because she didn't want anything to do with Doomsday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
but she stuck around and fight. And this movie, at the end, she's reminded of why she's supposed to fight. This movie,
it's why also we're not going to see
set everything for her.
We're not going to see Steve Trevor stuff in between because we have that thing at the end where she's like, "Thank you for bringing him back."
Yes.
So we know that he's not going to appear between 1917 and 2017.
Yes.
When I was trying to think about, like, in my own, and this is just a personal opinion thing, I'm like, what would rank overall, like, favorite DC movies? And I'm also counting animated in this. This definitely goes in my top 4 of all time. And what, I can tell you what number 1 is, but between, 2 and 4 would be probably variable on my mood.
Yes. What's number 1?
Mask of the Phantasm still stands out as my all-time favorite.
Animated action.
One of the best Batman stories ever told.
It was like late 90s, wasn't it?
92 or 93, I don't remember.
Early 90s.
And then, flip a coin. Flip a 3-sided coin. Flip a triangle. Between 1978 Superman.
Richard Donner.
Yeah. This or the animated Dark Knight Returns. Like, this is definitely top tier DC for me for what I've seen out of that universe as a whole. Not even like just talking about the recent DC movies. But I really enjoyed this movie. I look forward to seeing it again. Yeah. I highly recommend it. And if you've listened this long to the show, I assume you've seen it.
Yes. Top marks. It's the movie they've needed. It's the movie that's going to bring some... Now they can't go and screw it up with a bad Justice League movie.
I mean, they could, but...
Yes, but they can't. They shouldn't.
Even if it's a bad movie, this movie will stand on its own 2 feet.
Yes. But I think it's the shot in the arm. I think, like we were talking about beforehand, before we came down and started to do the show, I was like, does Wonder Woman feel like it was really good because the bar was set so low by the previously bad movies? Or is it actually that good? And I think it is actually that good. It has its problems, but it has fewer problems than the other movies. And it definitely, it felt
well, this week going into this movie, I rewatched the previous DCEU movies.
Yeah.
I'm still fine with Man of Steel. Overall, I say it's a good movie. I say it's not a good Superman movie, which I've probably said on the show before.
Yes, many times.
Batman v Superman. God, I've watched that movie maybe, 4 times now. And I try and like it every time.
Why does Clark get in the tub with Lois without getting naked? Like, I'm not looking to see him naked, but that seems just like it's a really...
I mean, he's super in shape. You might wanna.
Well, I mean, would you?
He's a handsome man.
He is. But nothing sucks worse than taking off wet jeans. Am I wrong?
This is your major complaint?
And he's getting water everywhere.
But moving on from there, going away from our Wonder Woman love, let's move on to letters to the editors. I already said the S.
Oh, I'm just helping.
Lot of questions, number 1. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
In all of our letters, about 1% of our audience emails in. Thanks, 1%.
We love the 1%.
You all get recycled a lot.
Can you send us some letters? Send us some letters. Maybe I'll send a letter to the editors.
Well, the only downside of it is I really like to have, no icons on my phone. And I have all of these, also keep sending letters. Let's make that clear. But now my email is always backed up. I can never clear it out because I need to have the unread emails as the letters.
That sucks.
Yeah. I appreciate the letters, but I have this minor thing it's not nothing.
It's not nothing. All right. What do we got?
Wonder Woman had a new logo.
Yes, it did.
Featuring 7 Justice League characters and a bunch of other ones. Is Green Lantern going to be in Justice League?
No.
I say yes.
Maybe. Hal Jordan?
I don't know. Because they're going very comic booky with the opening credits. We see a blonde Aquaman and not manly man Jason Momoa. And I can't remember if it was the first or second image we saw regarding Justice League. There was that image of Aquaman that said Unite the 7 on it. And then they have literally done nothing else with the 7. But they have 7 Justice League members shown in that intro before they get into anything else. It's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, Flash, and Green Lantern. I think we're going to get a surprise Green Lantern in Justice League.
Now, which Green Lantern? Is it going to be Hal Jordan?
I don't know. In a perfect world, we would have it be Guy Gardner with his douchebag bowl cut. He's the worst Green Lantern.
But I feel like this isn't a perfect world.
It would probably be... It would either be Jon Stewart or Hal Jordan.
I'm going to say it's probably going to be Hal Jordan because that has the most name familiarity.
It's also, let's social justice warrior this. He's the white one, so let's go with Jon Stewart. Also, there's an entire generation that knows Jon Stewart better than Hal Jordan because of the Justice League cartoons. We had Hal Jordan in the new DC intro, but I don't think that necessarily means Hal Jordan. My guess would be Jon Stewart.
But if we do get Hal Jordan, it's not going to be full-on Green Lantern. There's going to be a character named Hal Jordan that's going to set the stage for a potential Green Lantern.
But I bet we're going to get a surprise Green Lantern in Justice League. That's, I have nothing to back that up. It's just speculation.
Well, this has been a rumor-filled show, so.
Yeah, no. I don't even have anything I don't even have a rumor to back that up with. It's just my assumption.
You've been right on some things this year.
I've been wrong on others. Don't listen back.
Yes. Or you may owe an appendage.
I bet something. I don't even remember now.
I think it was a toe.
I know it was a toe. I don't remember what I bet it on.
It was a big toe.
Was it like we're not going to see a Flash movie or something?
No, it was something that you were completely wrong about.
I don't know.
And you're like, good thing that this show does not have binding contracts with giving up my body parts for when I'm wrong.
Also, thank you to everyone who's a Patreon subscriber.
Yeah, so I would say we need to talk about Patreon. Patreon is good.
I got the payout today. I appreciate every month I get that. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Oh.
You can find everything over on editorsnotecomics.com. Of course, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The show is on iTunes. If you could please rate, review, subscribe. The more of that we get, the more visible we are to everyone else.
Yes.
Show's also on YouTube. If you want to get the show a day early, you can go to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. If you throw $1 our way a month, the show is a day early every single week. And you're on the tweets.
I am on Twitter at JuniorRich. Did you say that you're also at 210 Water Street in Hollowell?
I am at a physical shop.
Yes, 210 Water Street.
But
oh, what a show.
We'll be back next week
with Spider-Man.
Yeah, we're gonna take you down the road of vinyl.
We're gonna go in vinyl, man. Whoa.
Yeah, we'll be back next week where we're gonna be too lazy to read a comic.
We're gonna have it read to us
by old men.
Okay, that's where it gets creepy. Don't know how I feel about
weird.
that. Yes, especially when you say by old men.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird one. We'll be back
next week.
Next week.
Time to bounce.